1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Event. How are you guys doing? This is episode 184, and we're calling this bad boy of the Conchords. I probably have called another episode that, but this is episode 184 of the Conchords. So even if I have, this is episode 184. This is episode 184 of the Conchords, which is, the play on my name that I've loved to do ever since high school when Flight of the Conchords came out. And you got that nigga Jermaine Clement. So I've always made these jokes, and your boy is taking a flight. All right. Your boy is taking a flight. We're going to talk about that here. So we're going to call this bad boy of the Conchords. I would have recorded a little bit ago, but it just so happened. My intention, honestly, my intention was to record this episode before the Jake Paul boxing competition. My initial plan was to record this before that happened, but unfortunately, as I was about to get prepared to go, they were walking to the ring. So I said, nigga, don't mind if I do. So we're just going to touch on that for a second. Jake Paul versus Tyson Fury, or not Tyson Fury. That would be a domination. We don't need to see that. Jake Paul versus the little brother Tommy Fury. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about UFC Vegas 70, which was originally headlined by Ryan Spann versus Nikita Krylov, but that is not how the cookie crumbled. So we will talk about what happened there, and we will finish this bad boy up with talking about UFC 285, the return of John Bones Jones. I told you niggas about this card. As soon as it was announced, I was talking about this. As soon as it was rumored, I was talking about this, and I was looking at Topology, and I had posted a picture when I was talking about it originally, which had John Jones, and then I believe in the second fight, like the co-main event, was Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana. And when I look at Topology, it says that fight was supposed to be on this card, but just never materialized. So I was like, damn, okay, that was real that I posted, the picture that I posted at least. It was real, but it just never materialized. I thought I was going to see another 3-fight card. Last three title fight card, pardon me. I was going to see another 3 title fight card. The first one I saw, which was the first fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Then it was Amanda Nunes versus Jermaine. Shout out to all my Jermaines. Against Jermaine Durandamy. And then the main event was Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. That was the first fight between Kamaru and Colby Covington. And y'all know I was Colby'd out that day. Colby'd the fuck out. But I felt some type of way because even though I was there rooting for Colby, I was sitting so close because I try to sit like I buy my tickets where I'm octagon level, maybe even a little bit higher, just like slightly higher, because then I can see everything. Even if it goes to the ground, goes over there in that corner, I can see everything. And floor seats are trash. Floor seats are the most trash seats. It's a scam. You got to get octagon level or slightly higher, and you can see every single thing that goes on in an octagon. And I like to either be in the red or the blue corner. You know what I'm saying? I like to be right in that corner and just slightly up. Those to me are the prime seats. I'm only saying that here because I was listening to like James Lynch and some other people talk about it. And they were talking about the exact same shit. I was like, nigga, you guys are spilling the fucking secrets of where's the best place to sit. It's definitely not on that floor. When UFC came to Milwaukee last time, I sat on the floor. It was like $300 for the fucking floor seats. And yeah, as I'm saying, once the fight went on the ground in that corner, I'm like, fuck, they don't have the screens on. They don't have the Jumbotron on. I can't see what's going on at all in this fight. I mean, of course, when I go to the T-Mobile Arena for a pay-per-view, they have the fucking screens on. But they didn't have them here in the Pfizer Forum. And I was like, I'm never fucking sitting on the floor again. Because once, it's just like, I'm always moving around and trying to see what the fuck is going on. At the Pfizer Forum I was when I was sitting on the floor, I was like, what the fuck? Dude, now okay, shit, now I can't see anything. But if you sit like slightly up, gauge level, you should be able to gauge it out. Just like a lot of those sites give you like a view. Like if you look for the tickets on the Game Time app, it'll give you a view of where you're sitting. So I mean, you don't have to purchase them on Game Time, but if those seats are available, you can probably find those same seats for cheaper on a different site than Game Time. I'm just saying they be taxing on Game Time, so I typically don't purchase them there. But going back, I'm going back to Vegas, my niggas. And if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast for whatever reason at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. Probably the only reason is that I created the podcast email address so that you niggas could email the podcast. So go ahead and do it. Just to be like, what up, nigga? And I'll be like, peace. Or call me Niji. I've been real disillusioned by shit lately. Disillusioned. I felt for a while here. I was telling niggas before, and even I didn't speak about it on this podcast, but I've had issues with this hip hop game, my nigga. I felt like I was disillusioned. I was brainwashed into making hip hop. And I wanted to branch out into other shit. I felt that way. I was saying that to niggas. I didn't put out no music last year because I mainly wanted to experience life and see how I felt rather than just keep rapping just to rap, nigga. But now where I'm at, I'm like, fuck, nigga. Probably shouldn't even say nigga no more. I'm trying to be conscious and cut back on the niggas that I be saying. I say a lot of niggas. It's like I'm listening to all day, like 7 times a day, and I'm spitting every fucking lyric. It's yay, nigga. Shopping for the winner, and it's just me, nigga. Ball so hard. Man, this shit cray, nigga. It's like I'm listening to that 7 times a day. That's how much I say nigga. Sometimes nobody's here and I just need to say nigga out loud just to get it out of my system. I'm addicted to saying nigga at this point. But as an adult, somehow I made it here. I don't understand. I thought I was gonna die before 18. Nigga, I grew up in Hillside, nigga. Thought I was gonna die before 18. And feel like a lot of niggas that grew up where I grew up, they felt that exact same way. My whole point is, nigga, I never really thought, I didn't think I was gonna be here right now, nigga, and so I can't stop saying nigga. I've said it like 72 times here in the last minute. I'm addicted to saying nigga. You know the way Trinidad James said nigga 3 times in a row, and I felt like, ooh, it's something so smooth about the way that nigga say nigga. Don't believe me, just watch. Nigga, don't believe. Nigga, I thought that was so smooth. And as I'm trying not to say that word, maniji, I'm just saying there's a lot of things I've been looking at recently. A lot of internet videos I've been looking at recently that's having me feeling like, bruh, cut this rap shit out. I've always felt like cut this rap shit out. Just because I'm annoyed with the fucking bravado of it all, my nigga. I don't give a fuck about how good you think you are, because it's all subjective. But nigga, I'm just trying to rock. I'm trying to rock this crowd, nigga. I'm trying to put the good vibes in the air. You know how many fucking keep the peace ass fucking hip hop meetings I've been to? Well, we were like, we gotta stop competing, nigga. Niji. We gotta stop competing with each other. If we having shows, we can't compete. We gotta support each other. That lasts for like a week. And then everybody's back on to their shit. Just is what it is. If you guys made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. I'd appreciate it so much. Hit that like button anywhere that you listen to this podcast. If you guys would like to watch your boy play games. I mean, I play a lot of... I be simulating franchises. That's what I'm on right now. Sometimes I play Skyrim and yada yada. Right now I'm simulating franchises. I did it one time online and niggas... The day I did it, niggas were definitely not into it. But I'm all about simulating franchises. If you guys would like to follow your boy on Twitch and watch Aniji. I'm so sorry I said it like 7 times there. Head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. You guys can cop some merchandise by going to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, be my Niji by heading on over to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. As I said, I wanted to record this podcast earlier, but they were showing, but all of a sudden I saw a notification from Twitter that Tommy Fury and Jake Paul were about to walk to the octagon. So I said, Niji, I gotta set up everything for this fucking video work anyway, so let me just put that on in the background while I'm getting ready. And the result of it all was Tommy Fury winning via split decision over Jake Paul. Jake Paul received his very first loss. He did get the only knockdown of the fight. Got a knockdown of Fury in the 8th round. It was an 8-round boxing competition. Alright? 8-round boxing competition. Niggas, I don't like to call it fights. Nijis like to say a boxing fight. Nigga, that's... that's an oxymoron. If it was a boxing fight, then that means like it's boxing with kicks and grappling, I feel like. A fight is mixed martial arts. Yeah. My alarm just went off. I got fucking laundry in the washing machine. Niggas got laundry in the dryer. I guess I overloaded the shit, so like my shit should have been done like an hour ago, but I guess I overloaded the shit, so it was like errors. Yeah, but I was like, I'm about to just switch the shit when I'm done recording this. Niggas had they shit in the dryer. I just wanted to mention, my wife was like, I'm gonna give them time to take it out. I'm like, I'm not waiting. You know when the fuck this shit was done. It's been hours. If I gotta go out there, all that shit is luckily going on top of the machine. If not the fucking floor, nigga. You know how fucking long it's been. You know you put your shit here. I'm not waiting any fucking time. The second this podcast is done, nigga. I'm switching my shit. Here I am. I don't even know if I can use this video anymore. I'm drinking alcohol and vaping and shit. I don't know if I can use this video. We'll see. I have to go through it. Edit like a motherfucker, pardon me. This fight between Jake Paul, or boxing competition between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, it was pretty even. I didn't hate it. Did not hate it. I thought it was pretty even boxing competition. And I still don't want to see Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz or any former UFC or MMA guy. Fight Paulie Malignaggi. Fight boxers. Fight retired boxers. Box Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Paul got an L here, but that was one of the better performances I've seen from him, I guess. I said I was done with this whole Jake Paul circus fight. You know what I'm saying? I said that. But here I am watching more Jake Paul circus fights. And I didn't hate that one. So I gained a little respect with Jake. He dropped Tommy. Tommy was catching him with some combination. There were certain points in that fight where Tommy was coming forward and he was catching Paul. He looked to me like the better boxer for most of the rounds, but then he got dropped. He got dropped by Paul in the 8th round. So that was a good fight, honestly. I would watch a rematch if they booked it. It is what it is. So I've gained respect for Paul. I don't hate him. I no longer hate him, but I still don't want to see him against any MMA guys. Whether I liked him or not. I don't want to see him against Uriah Hall. Dude, if he knocked Uriah Hall out, nigga, Niji, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Don't know how I feel. But after almost 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, we have the return of Tatiana Suarez. As I said, a lot of people were saying Erin Blanchfield is what people pretend Tatiana Suarez is. And when I saw Erin Blanchfield fight Jessica Andrade last week, I felt like the striking there really surprised me. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I told you guys last week with Tatiana Suarez, in her last fight with Nina Nunes, I felt like, pardon me, I felt like that her striking was fucking horrible. Like, when she's forced to stand up, she's tired and she's forced to stand up, she can't do those takedowns anymore. Or even in here with De La Rosa, when she had to stand up, she's throwing these weird kicks, like putting herself in bad positions, but the second her opponent comes forward to strike on her, she grabs a hold of them. She's talking about fighting Rose Namajunas next. Nigga. if you're a fucking casual, I saw this nigga on YouTube talking about, there was a picture, and it was like, the UFC has incredible returns this year. And it was like John Jones, Tatiana Suarez, I think Conor McGregor, and somebody else. I forget who was on the poster. But somebody was commenting, like, I have no idea who that woman is. It's like, well, you're a fucking casual, my nigga. That makes you a fucking casual. Here's my thing, all right? When she fought Nina Ansaroff and she was forced to stand, her striking looked pretty fucking bad. And when she was standing with De La Rosa, I felt like De La Rosa was getting the better of the exchanges, but then Suarez would grab her. Suarez would do these weird fucking kicks. And it just didn't look good. And then she even went for this guillotine here. I'm screaming the whole time. When she got in that position where De La Rosa sat up on her knees for some reason, and I'm screaming, fucking lean back. You got to put the pressure on there. It's just like a lot of this seems new to her. She's great with the fucking wrestling. That's her bread and butter. We know this. But I feel like she's so green everywhere else. You want to fight Rose Namajunas next? After you saw Carla Esparza not really being able to engage with the grappling in Rose's last fight, and you pretty much having no striking at all. I think that's going to be a pretty bad fight for Tatiana Suarez. But she was able to defeat De La Rosa at 125 pounds, but her goal is to fight at 115 pounds. She just wanted to fight and didn't have to worry about a weight cut, is what she was saying. But I felt like De La Rosa looked good until she didn't, honestly, in that fight. I thought she looked good until she didn't, but we got Tatiana Suarez next. Back. She's talking about fighting Rose Namajunas, which I think is a nightmare matchup for her at this point. That is a nightmare matchup. So as I talked about last week, the main event, which was scheduled, was... It was Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. Sorry, I'm looking at my crusty-ass lips in this video here. And I'm like, holy fuck, where's my chapstick? I guess I gotta put it away, so I'm just keep recording with these crusty-ass lips, my nigga. So the original main event was Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. Right as the main card starts, they fucking shoot it over to Megan O'Leary, who informs us that Nikita Krylov was dealing with some issues with his fucking tummy, I guess, and he was ruled unfit to fight. So they canceled the main event. In came the new main event, a 3-round fight between Brendan Allen and Andre Muniz. And as I told you guys last week, I was rolling with... Well, I picked number 11th ranked Andre Muniz to beat unranked Brendan Allen. That was my pick there. But I said that I was rooting for Brendan Allen. I was a big Brendan Allen fan. And in this main event, unranked Brendan Allen, I would say, dominates Andre Muniz. And in the third round, right in the last 30 seconds, definitely in the final minute of the fight, Brendan Allen was able to lock in a submission and gets the finish over, at the time, number 11 ranked Andre Muniz. I don't know where he goes after this one. You know, Brendan Allen said coming into this fight, he's just going to be too big, too quick for Andre Muniz. And I thought that was silly because I'm like, dude, he broke Jacare's arm. You're going to be too big for this guy? But he was. He was too much for Muniz all over in this fight. He was just better than him everywhere, as it looked. He was better than him everywhere, so Brendan Allen shines in his impromptu first UFC main event. I believe that's his first UFC main event. But he shines in his impromptu UFC main event. And he looked great. He's talking about he wants to run it back with like Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, Dricus du Plessis, who I will get the pleasure of seeing fight live next week against Brendan Allen, but we will talk about that in a second. That's neither here nor there at the moment. But yeah, he's gonna be at least ranked number 11 after finishing Andre Muniz. After I feel like dominating Andre Muniz, I'm happy for Brendan Allen to get the W here. So if you guys didn't see that fight, you guys didn't see UFC 270. There was a lot of great fights. Augusto Sakai had a pretty good fight against Dontel Mays. I thought he was going to get dominated in that fight. I think he was on a 3-fight losing streak, but he came out there with a brand new aggression, was all over Dontel Mays. This guy, Peak, he's in there throwing fucking hammer fist in the stand-up. All right, that guy was throwing power with everything he fucking threw. He got the finish in the first round, like right at the end. Dude, UFC Vegas 70 was a fucking good card. If you guys didn't watch those fights, go back and check those out. Brendan Allen was not the only star. They're talking about possibly rebooking Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann for a later date. It's like similar to when Derek Lewis was scheduled to fight Sergey Spivak. And then he had the BGs and the bubble guts, if you don't know what I'm saying. And they had to... Well, no, actually, he had COVID. Everybody was saying, oh, it must have been the bubble guts, the way they were reporting. And they were like, oh, he had stomach issues. And then he comes out and was like, no, I had COVID. So they're saying Krylov has stomach issues. And everybody's like, oh, this nigga got diarrhea. This Nishi got diarrhea. And, but it could be COVID or whatever, nigga. I don't know. I'm addicted. It could be whatever. I don't know. But they were talking about possibly booking that fight again in the future. It doesn't need to be a main event. I personally don't feel like it. And now we're going to move on to next week, ladies and gentlemen. What we've been waiting for years. John Bones Jones vacated the light heavyweight championship and began his bulking up, his training to move to the heavyweight division. Everybody thought it was an inevitable matchup with Francis Ngannou. But as we all know, as we all should know, that fight was kiboshed. As Francis Ngannou, as a man, was like, yo, everybody needs health insurance. And they were like, nah, we're just going to make you the highest paid fighter in heavyweight history. And then he's like, nah, everybody needs health insurance. Like, what about the guy? What about every week people win a fight and they're like, yo, I had $100 in my account. And I'm so thankful that I won this fight. I had $100 in my bank account coming into this fight. And I'm thankful that I won this fight. That Francis Ngannou is saying those guys need health insurance. All right? And they were like, nah, we don't do that shit here. So Francis Ngannou was like, nigga, you can have this belt. You can fucking have this belt. So I don't want to hear any of that bullshit like Francis was scared of John. I don't subscribe to that. I feel like he was standing up for something real. Something a lot of people either don't even think about or wouldn't have the fucking balls to mention. So I don't want to hear any of that. But as we're talking about UFC 285, and as I said when it was announced, I might have to take a flight. So your boy is going. I will be there in Las Vegas for UFC 285 at the T-Mobile Arena. And it just so happens that it's like I was joking like this is my annual trip to Las Vegas. And then I look at the last time I was in Vegas. It was like March 4th. It was either March 4th or March 5th that Kobe fought Masvidal. And I originally was going to see, they had announced that card was going to be Jermaine versus Jan 2. And I think Volk Holloway 3. And I was going to go to that, but then they were like, oh, all those moves are being moved to another card, and instead, you fuck niggas are going to go see Kobe versus Masvidal. But it's cool. I seen like Jalen Turner and everybody fighting. It was a good card. But I was like, this is randomly like, I was joking that this is my annual trip to Vegas, and it turns out like this is like on the year. Right on the spot that I'm heading back to Las Vegas for UFC. And here we are with the fight card, ladies and gentlemen. UFC Vegas 285, ladies and gentlemen. We have, I don't know if I need to go over every card, especially since I don't know all these niggas. In the main card, in the very first fight, we have Loik Radzhabov versus Esteban Rivovic. Loik Radzhabov fighting out of Florida. Kill Cliff FC. He's out of Florida. Versus Esteban Ribovic, who's fighting out of Argentina. He's 26 years old. Radzhabov, 31 years old. Typology is going with Radzhabov. So I guess I'll go with that. It's interesting. I don't even know if that fight's happening because I'm looking at like the picture that I screenshot, and it does not have that fight listed. But when I'm on Typology, that's number 1, and the number 2 fight that I have on the screen here is the number 1. So it's weird because when I went on here and I looked at this, I was like, I don't remember this fight being there. And as I just screenshot that shit right before I fucking recorded this, and that fight is not there. As a matter of fact, let me refresh this screen just to see if that fight is still on the card. I guess it is, because it's not refreshing. Yep, and nigga just trust what we saying. So that fight is there. I don't know shit about them niggas. Then you got second fight, Fareed Basharat. His brother is also in the UFC. 91% of people are running with Basharat to beat Damon Blackshear, so let's just roll with it. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with all the fighters here. You got Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci. Now, I'm a huge Angela Hill fan, so I kind of would like to see Penne win here, just because I'm a huge Angela Hill fan, and they're clearly best friends, but I'm gonna roll with Ricci in this one. She's the younger, surging fighter, while Penne is kind of a 30-70 fighter, not a 50-50. I think she loses more than she wins. So I'm gonna go with Tabitha, the 7-1 Tabitha Ricci, the streaking Tabitha Ricci, to defeat Jessica Penne. And then you got Mana Martinez versus Cameron Simon, the South African. I ain't like how them niggas was talking last time. You know how them niggas was talking about how Adesanya and everybody wanted to bring the UFC to Africa, and you got these white niggas, these white South Africans, fucking Cameron Simon and Dricus Duplessis, talking about, it don't make any sense to go to anywhere but South Africa. Fuck you niggas. I can't believe they're fighting on the same card again. I'm pretty sure they fought on the same card in their very last fights. Blachowicz Ankalaev was Simon's last fight. And on that card was Dricus du Plessis versus Darren Till. So they fought on the same card last time, and they're probably going to come out here with that, oh, it only makes sense to have this card in fucking South Africa. Go fuck yourself. They're talking about either doing it in Nigeria or all that bullshit before, and they're like, it only makes sense to have it in a majority-ass white part of the nation. If that's not what the words they said, but that's what a nigga heard. I'm rolling with Cameron Simon in this fight. Then you got Ian Machado Gary versus Kenan Song. That's a big boy, ain't it? Nah, he's 6 feet tall, and Jan Gary is 6'3", undefeated. He is the heavy favorite in this fight. It says, according to Topology, the betting odds, he's a minus 560 with Kenan Song coming in at plus 400. So definitely sticking with Gary here, the undefeated Jan Gary. Until you niggas prove me wrong, I'm going to roll with Gary. Then you got Julian Marquez versus Marc-Andre Barrios. This is a crazy fight. I'm hyped that this fight is happening. I'm hyped that I get to fucking see this shit live. I get to see Jan Gary live, dude. Tabitha Ricci live. Marc-Andre Barrios. Amanda Ribas versus Viviane Arujau in the next fight. Dude, this is wild. I can't believe I get to see all these guys live. All right, and as we're talking about Viviane Arujau versus Amanda Ribas, both coming off losses, I think Ribas has horrid striking, and I think Arujau has great striking. Somehow Ribas is the favorite. Win in Vegas. Bet the fucking house on Viviane Arujau in this one. Whoa. So I gotta go back here. I don't even honestly remember. It says Ribas just beat Chookagian via split decision. I'd like to go back and watch that one because I think Chookagian would clearly win that fight. And so she lost to Chookagian, as she should. I'm like, damn, I feel like Chookagian would win that fight. But yeah, Chookagian did win that fight, as she should have. Viviane Arujau is 1,000%, in my opinion, going to win this fight. Her last loss was coming to Alexa Grasso, who's just a much better boxer. Arujau is just going to be better in every spot in this fight. Then you got Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. Dricus on a win streak for whatever the fuck it is. Derek Brunson coming off a loss to Jared Cannonier, but was streaking before this. Most of Tipology is rolling with Dricus du Plessis, the surging younger guy. Derek Brunson's 39 years old coming into this fight. I don't know. I think the wrestling could 1,000% be a problem for Dricus. I don't think... he looked to slow down in the second round against Darren Till, and then he comes out in the third round and gets the finish. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe a heavy wrestling game from Derek Brunson will be the kryptonite for Dricus du Plessis. That's why I love this matchup here. This is a great fight that they, a lot of unknowns here. But I have to go with the 10 years younger Dricus du Plessis. That's just my pick if I have to say one. And this fight, I'm real happy I get to see this fight. I was curious. I was like, I got to look back to see who this man has fought beforehand. Because I was like, have I seen this man fight live? And I do not believe that I have. No, I have not. So I get to see, for what potentially could be the last fight of his career, Cody Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones. Tapology, 68% is rolling with Garbrandt. Trevin Jones on a current 3-fight losing streak. Garbrandt on a current 2-fight losing streak. Let's look and see. So Harani Barcelos, then Javid Basharat. So we're talking about the Basharat brother earlier. And then Saeed Yokub Kakramanov. Because I was trying to tell you niggas about the UFC cut Saeed Yokub Kakramanov. They released that nigga like a week ago. Are you fucking crazy? The guy looked amazing in his last fight. Yeah, he lost. He was dominating until he lost. Until he got caught in that submission. Up until that point, he looked fantastic. And you guys cut that guy? You're crazy. You're fucking crazy. Trevin Jones versus Garbrandt. I'm rooting for 31 years old fucking Cody Garbrandt. He's only 31? Jesus. I'm rooting for Cody. I really want my boy, the former champion, Cody Garbrandt, who was breakdancing in there against Cruz. One of the most beautiful performances we've ever seen. I want Cody Garbrandt to return to form in this one. I mean, we saw him get his fucking ass beat against Rob Font. He was just getting beat up in there, and then he got finished by Cara France. I would love to see Garbrandt get a win against Trevin Jones, but yeah, because it'll be March. It's no longer Black History Month, so he can beat a black guy. It's okay. Once March comes, it's okay. Then in the main card, ladies and gentlemen, I will get to see the UFC debut of Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett, who's currently on a 2-fight losing streak. Man, who did he recently lose to? I'm curious here. Some nigga named Denise Tiulian. I'm not sure who the fuck that is. And then Kyle Dawkins, who's like 50-50. I like Kyle Dawkins, but it's like, bruh. All that shit's, it's just, I'll be getting behind. I got behind the Dawkins brothers super hard, and it's like, yeah, they fucking taught you a lesson. By hyping them motherfuckers up. They taught you a lesson. I'm rolling with Bo Nickel. Undefeated Bo Nickel, 3-0 to defeat Jamie Pickett. Then, which was originally Dan Hooker versus Jalen Turner. Dan Hooker had an arm injury, and in steps Mateusz Gamrot, who we last saw get his fucking ass beat by Beneil Dariush. So that makes this fight even that much more interesting. The 6'3" Jalen Turner versus the 5'10" Mateusz Gamrot. This is an interesting fight. I'm more interested in this fight than I was Turner Hooker. So I don't know who wins this fight. I'm honestly, I don't know. I'm big on Gamrot. I'm just going to roll with Jalen Turner. And extend Black History Month for that fight. I'm rolling with Jalen Turner. And then it ends directly after that fight, because then we have Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. I've seen Jeff Neal fight live. I saw him fight Mike Perry. Finished Mike Perry in the very first round on the Colby Usman card. I was there for that fight, but I believe he will get finished in this fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov, the undefeated 16-0 prospect out of Kazakhstan, who has had words via Twitter with Khamzat Chimaev, and it's the question, like, who would win that fight? I'd like to see it. I think if Shavkat wins here, the logical next fight would be Hamzat versus Shavkat. Winner fights for the belt. That's what I would like to see. And then in the co-main event, ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, the female GOAT, Valentina Shevchenko defends her belt versus Alexa Grasso. And I would love to see the fighter out of Mexico, 29-year-old Alexa Grasso, defeat my favorite female fighter, Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, she's my favorite fighter. She's been so dominant lately. I mean, pretty much always. But if Grasso was able to defeat her, that would be amazing. That's why we watch this sport. So I am officially picking Valentina Shevchenko, of course, but it's much more interesting if Alexa Grasso wins here. I mean, it's not too much to say. I feel like Grasso has the striking to be competitive with Valentina in this fight, but I think Valentina's the best all-around female fighter that we have. I think she's going to be able to... And out of 5 rounds with Grasso, even Grasso said after her last fight, she needed at least one more other fight before she had this fight. Unfortunately, they rushed her into this fight with Valentina rather than letting her go the slow route that she preferred. So, and I think it'll be too much too soon for Alexa Grasso in this one. But it'd be amazing to see her get the upset. And in the main event, this is why we're flying out, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys should know, if you're long-time listeners, I've been a big Ciryl Gane fan. You know what I'm saying? Both of these fighters officially with just one loss. Ciryl Gane's one loss coming officially to Francis Ngannou, who vacated the belt. John Jones's one loss coming to, I forget his name. It was a disqualification, a bullshit disqualification. Matt Hamill, where if you watch that video, he's just fucking in mount, fucking murdering Matt Hamill for like 2-3 minutes straight. Mazzagatti, I believe it's Mazzagatti, is just watching it. Just watching Hamill not defend himself, just get beat up for like 3 minutes. And then John throws what he calls an illegal elbow, and he immediately stops the fight, disqualifies John Jones. This guy wasn't defending himself for like 3 minutes, and you didn't stop the fight. So that's John Jones's one loss, is that he was fucking about to murder this person. And, you know what I'm saying? He somehow got disqualified. It's a nonsense loss. He should be undefeated. We have a 26-1 John Jones versus an 11-1 Ciryl Gane. So this will be Ciryl's 13th fight. John Jones has had 14 title fights, and he's successful in every single one. We saw in the last fight that the grappling from Francis was a real problem for Ciryl Gane, but a lot of people like to say, but he wasn't expecting Francis to grapple. That was a thing. That's true there. But as I saw the MMA guru, highlight the grappling decisions of Ciryl, the shit he was going for, I believe this is going to end. This is going to end pretty bad for Ciryl if they end up grappling. I mean, his striking looks beautiful. But as I was saying, when we watched Strickland fight Nasruddin Imavov, the similarities in the striking of Ciryl and teammate Nasruddin Imavov and how unsuccessful Nasruddin was really gave me a reason for concern, cause for concern when it comes to him being successful against John Jones, who's known for interrupting, for hitting you on the half beat. He's known to interrupting your rhythm. That's what he's great at, and he's great at grappling. And we saw the holes from Gone. So I gotta roll with my boy John Bones Jones to become a new at UFC 285. I saw that this man is going to he's having an after party at the MGM Grand. I'm like, dude, that's right there. Usually every time I go to Vegas and like people are having after parties, they're far as fuck. It's like, it'd be like a 20-minute Uber ride. And I'm just like, I'm not even trying to be in a car with some random ass nigga for that long. You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta come back to the hotel. Nigga, nah. But then it's like, this after party is right there. Like, the T-Mobile Arena is right here, and then a 10-minute walk is where the after party is. So I was like, damn near, I gotta change my flight, nigga. I haven't gone yet. I'm not trying to be in there thirsty for photos. But I was like, that'd be pretty interesting if I end up going. But your boy's going to Vegas. Yeah, if you guys are out there, holler at your boy. Maybe we can do some meetups at the arena, because I'm getting there fucking Friday night. I'm not trying to be in Vegas that long. You know what I'm saying? I be getting bored pretty quickly. Like, I've been trying to get there, like, Wednesday, and then I'm bored by Wednesday. So I'm like, I can't be in there super fucking long as I usually do, because I usually fucking hate it. But if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. If you guys would like to hit that like button anywhere that you listen to this podcast, I appreciate it so much. And if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Twitch, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys would like to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my Niji, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod, and you can be my patrons. This is episode 184 of the Conchords. I wanted to just give you guys some real shit here. I'm a big fan of, like, prison YouTube channels. People who tell stories about shit they seen happen in prison and yada, yada, yada. Just prison stories, man. There's a new channel I fucking came across. And I just want to give this channel a fucking shout out. Hold on, that's the one here. It's a G Street News Network. When I found this channel, it was like, I think it was like under 800. It was like maybe like 817, and I was maybe subscriber 818. And then like as I was like binging through the episodes. He had like 3 or 4 episodes out at that point, and as I'm watching it, his fucking viewership is growing. And it's just these stories are just so fucking interesting. It's just one continuous story here that he's doing. And I believe his last one was like episode 16. All right, like the 16th video he just put out. And it's a continuous story of his time in a New Orleans prison. It's fucking insane. I don't even want to like talk too much here. I almost was like, I need to do a reaction channel just for prison content, just because I'm so interested in these stories. They're so captivating to me. But yeah, go check out G Street News Network. These are fucking real, raw prison stories. They're super captivating. I just want to give the shout out to that guy, because I fucking love the channel. So thank you guys for being here another week, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holler.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling chant down Babylon kingdom. Natty make we chant down Vatican now.